Hey everyone, welcome to part 10 of this trophy and achievement guide for the original Final Fantasy VII. We're right at the beginning of Disc 2, so let's go ahead and get started. When you get control of Cloud, run down and toward the left to get into a cutscene. Sephiroth, I wonder which way he went. Ugh. Wait, get a hold of yourself! Sephiroth said to me, head north, past the snowfields. Once the party regroups, we're going to go back up and we're going to go into the house on the right. This is the one that has the bed inside of it. We'll go up the ladder to the second floor and then run over toward the right side. We'll be able to rest here for free. So once you've done that and you've gotten all of your health back after fighting Jenova-DEATH, now we're going to head back outside and go the way that Sephiroth was going in that little vision that Cloud had. So we're going to run around the bend here and then go over toward the right and run toward these big lily pad rock looking things. When you're in the next area, stick toward the left side and run around the big spiky structure. You'll be able to get around to this treasure chest which contains the Viper Halberd. That's a new weapon for Cid. Now we're going to backtrack toward the beginning of this area and then we are going to jump up the spikes all the way to the top. Luckily it will take you all the way up by itself. You don't have to individually jump every time. Then continue running up the shell structure until you get toward the top. There are fights in this area, but they're all pretty weak enemies that you don't really need to worry about. So let's just go ahead and run away from these guys, and then we'll keep on going. So keep going all the way up, and then when you get to the top, run toward the camera to go outside, then start circling back around. You'll be able to run along this long spike out toward the side and exit. In this area, there's some treasure chests and a new materia that we want to get, so let's start by running toward the far crevice that we can get into. Here's an enemy called Acrophes. You can actually steal a water ring from that which absorbs all water elemental damage, so feel free to steal that if you want to, otherwise keep going. We're going to climb up the second pathway and then go over toward the left when you get to the top. Now we're going to climb up this other pathway. You can choose either the right or the left, it doesn't matter, and then get back into it and choose to go up. At the top is a treasure chest that contains a bolt armlet. This is very good because it allows us to absorb lightning damage. Now let's crawl back down and then go over toward the right. We'll run all the way over and now we're going to jump into this one going down. And when we get to the bottom, then we'll grab the treasure chest down here, which contains the very powerful Hypnocrown. This allows us to manipulate with 100% accuracy if the enemy is able to be manipulated. Very good for some future enemy skills. Now we're going to hop out and then go back in, going up to the top of this one. We'll go to the right and open up this treasure chest to get a Mega Elixir. Now we're going to hop down, go back over toward the top, and then over toward the left. Lastly, we'll jump into this one going all the way up, and then we can go left to the ladder. We'll get a choice whether to go up or down. Let's go down. The game will automatically control you all the way to the bottom of this, so you can take the hands off the controller if you want to, because the game is playing itself at this point. Be careful though when you get to the bottom, you don't want to interact with the ladder. Instead, you want to go a little bit toward the camera and pick up the Magic Plus materia off the ground. It's a very small purple materia down there. Then you can interact with the ladder again and it will automatically bring you all the way up to the top. Once you get back to the top part, we're just going to hop off, hop back on, and choose to go up. This time, for some reason, we have to control ourselves as we climb up. The game does not do this automatically. And when you're at the top, we're going to start running over toward the right side, and when you get to the end, you'll see a little cave entrance. We're going to go away from the camera and run up into here. Grab the treasure chest on the right side, which contains a power source, and now we're just going to run up and outside the other cave entrance by the light. And we'll find that we're back outside in a very snowy area. All we're going to do is run down a little bit and then run over toward the west or to the left. We just want to follow this mountain range around. There are going to be numerous fights that you get into along the way, most likely. I did get into a couple fights with these Bandersnatches. They're pretty easy to defeat if you want to, especially if you use fire-based attacks, but I just ran away from all of those fights. I'm just going to continue running around the mountain here. You'll see the screen flicker a couple times as I do that. That's just because I was editing out those fights that I ran away from. I figured you probably didn't need to see me run away from the same fight 3 times in a row. But as we go around this mountain pass, we're now going to go over toward the right side, and you'll see that there's a little town up ahead. Before we go into it, however, we're going to stop and make some changes to our party and to our equipment. So starting off, we're going to unequip Yuffie with that gold armlet. I'll just put her carbon bangle back on and then take off that fire ring. Once that's done, I'm going to go to the PHS menu. I'm going to remove Yuffie from the party and instead bring in Sid. We do that just because Sid starts at a higher level than the other party members, so we have a little bit of an advantage here. Now let's walk through the equipment choices and the materia choices that I made for everyone. Starting off, Cloud has the Yoshiyuki as well as the Bolt Armlet, which drains lightning attacks, and he has the Ribbon to protect against all abnormal status effects. Tifa has the Power Soul as well as the Dragon Armlet, draining half of fire, cold, and lightning attacks, and she's got the Power Wrist to boost her strength by 10. And finally, Sid has the Trident, the Wizard Bracelet, and the Fire Ring, which nullifies fire attacks, meaning that they won't do any damage at all. The main thing is that we're boosting our magic defense up as much as possible. We don't have to care so much about our physical defense, it's the magic defense that counts here. For Materia, Cloud has the Good Enemy Skill Materia as well as the Cover Materia, and he also has Magic Plus, and on his armor, Elemental and Fire. So he's protected against both lightning and now fire. We're going to go up to Tifa now. She's got the Death Blow Materia as well as Counter Attack, Long Range, and the Chocobo Lure. And on her armor, I just have Throw as well as the Luck Plus Materia. They'll just give me little increases to my stats. Sid's got the Enemy Skill Materia that only has Aqua Lung. He also has Manipulate, Comet, and then some All Materias equipped. We're just trying to get those leveled up as much as possible. Now on his armor, we have Steel as well as Bahamut. He also has equipped Time and Added Effect so that he can't be slowed or stopped. And then he also has Restore and All. So once we have all of our equipment set up and our materia good, let's go ahead and just quickly save the game before we head into the Icicle Inn area. I've always loved the music here, it's just very chill and relaxing, and I think it really fits the theme of this area. We're going to start by going off to the right side, entering the house all the way on the right. If you go in there, then you'll see that on the wall there's going to be a map of the Glacier. We're going to actually just take that map off the wall, so now we've received the key item Glacier map. We'll go into the room right behind there, and we can grab a hero drink and a vaccine. Now let's leave the house and go back outside. If you run all the way to the left, there's going to be a weapon and item shop with some decent upgrades for you if you want to purchase them. Otherwise, you can go all the way to the end. The other house on the left just has more lore related to Professor Gast and the Ancients. The man at the back will stop you from trying to run down the cliff. When given a choice, say, "I'm still going," and then you're going to get a little bit of a scene here with Elena and some Shinra troops coming in. There they are! Hurry! Yes, ma'am. Cloud! I won't let you go any further! What's down there? It's a secret. It really doesn't matter. You really got guts messing my boss up like that. You mean Boss Sung? That wasn't us. Sephiroth did it. No, liar. Don't think you can fool me. I'm not lying. It was Sephiroth. Don't try to act innocent. I'll never forget it. Oh, man. Looks like just talking won't do. You're gonna have to feel some pain. Just you and me. No, I can handle them. There's no way he can avoid my punch. What? Yeah. Dodge that punch. Just tap left, up, or right, and she's going to roll down the hill. If you hit down or don't do anything, you'll actually get knocked out there, and you'll wake up in Professor Gast's house. What the? They sure were weak for Shinra. Well, now what we want to do is to head back toward the camera, and we're going to go in the house a little bit on the right side, but mostly in the middle of this area. We'll run to the back room and talk to the boy back here. I got hurt on my snowboard, and now I can't go out for a while. Hey, I'll give you my snowboard. When the cat runs away, go over to the bed and pick up that snowboard item. And now we're going to leave the house. We'll run back all the way away from the camera so that we can get down to that hill. And now we're going to do the snowboarding section. As a big disclaimer, I'm really bad at this part, but I'll do the best that I can. I can complete it in about 3 minutes or so, but I'll definitely be bumping into the walls quite a bit. There is a particular path that I want you to take as we go along, and that way we'll end up in the same area, and that will make navigating a whole lot easier for us. The beginning of it is pretty simple. You'll just want to go straight down. These balloons don't really mean anything to us. I would recommend using the R1 button to help you to turn a little bit faster. If you don't use that, you'll probably turn slower and bump into a lot more walls, but you can get a lot tighter turns by assisting them with holding down that R1 button as you go through the turn. So we're just going to move our way down through this course here, and we're going to get toward the bottom part. Make sure that you try to avoid the big snowmen or snow mogs, as it looks like, and just get all the way down to the bottom of the section. When you're down in this valley, it's pretty easy. Just keep working your way through here all the way to the end. You want to stick in the middle because there are little ledges that stick out on the sides that you can get hung up on. We'll keep going down, avoiding the snowmen as we go, and we'll make our way down into the next section, which is the tunnel. Nothing much to do here, just keep going, and then it's going to open itself up. We're about a third of the way through the snowboarding section at this point, and now it's going to become an area with some big jumps up ahead. I like to stick over toward the right side a little bit and just make our way through here. The middle has these very large snow mogs that you want to avoid, but if you stick toward the right side, just going over these jumps, you can get through it without much of a problem at all. Once you get through this, we're just going to do some curves as we go through here, and then we're in a forest. Stick toward the right side a little bit, and you should be able to get through these trees with only doing little maneuvers here and there. But watch out, because if you don't go back toward the center, you're going to smash into the wall there, and you'll have to slow yourself down. That's okay, though, because slowing down means that we're more in control. We'll keep going around the snow chocobos, and then we're going to go down into a section that has a stony wall-looking area. At this point, stay toward the right side because we're coming up in a fork and we want to go over toward the right side. So the first choice you have to do, go over toward the right. As you do that, you're going to go around the corner here, and then you'll be down in a bit of a valley with these big snowballs rolling across here. Stick toward the left side as you go through this area, and you should be able to get through it pretty okay. I did make a little mistake here and bumped into that rock. I didn't really mean to do that. It just happened. I barely hit it. And then we're going to go up this little ramp area into the next section. Up here, stick toward the left. So we're going left the second time, and then we're going to continue it down the path here. We'll soon be met with a very windy, twisty path here, going pretty quickly into a crystal cave area. There are 3 of those little crystal caves we have to go through. The second one, we're just sticking off to the right side a little bit. And then as we go through the third one, we'll be coming right up on the end. As soon as you get through the third one, the path will turn to the left, and then you'll go forward and fling yourself off into the Great White Beyond. When you land, you're going to get a bit of a cutscene, and you'll get oriented to where you are. Ugh. I guess we're still in one piece. Everyone all right? Yeah, I guess. I'm too old for this. So where did we land? We've jumped pretty far. Well, we've got a map, right? Look at the map by pressing square. It sure is cold. We'll freeze if we stay here any longer. When the group comes together, let's press square to open up the map. Because of the route we took snowboarding, we ended up right here at the singular tree. What we need to do is go up toward the hot springs to get a new summon materia, and to do that we're going to go toward the right a few screens, and then once we complete that summon, we're going to go north a little bit further toward the red check mark. That's where we need to go. So let's go ahead and get started running toward the right a few screens. You need to do this pretty quickly because after Cloud takes 544 steps, he'll actually pass out and end up at that red check mark. But we don't want to do that until we've accomplished everything we want to do. There are definitely enemy encounters in this area, but I'm just going to run away from all of them. Here's some of those Bandersnatches that I showed you before. They just like to use physical attacks on us, but we're going to get out of here. Let's keep running over toward the right. We've got to go a total of 3 screens toward the right, and then we'll be in a new section. Now we're going to run toward the right, and then just go straight up and away from the camera. You want to run all the way up there until the screen transitions once again. Here we have a fight against an enemy called Ice Golem. He may look small, but he actually packs quite a punch, especially with his Cold Snap attack that can do lots of damage, especially to a party that's kind of low level like ours. He's got 4,000 HP and he's not worth the fight, so let's go ahead and run away and get out of here. Once we run all the way up to the top, we're going to transition to a new area. Let's run up and toward the left to get out of this screen, but then pay attention in the next screen because there's a hidden materia here. Run up and then over on the right side there's an added cut materia. This is amazing for Tifa. We want to put it on her and we want to link it together with her death blow materia. So get added cut, which will attack simultaneously when the paired materia is used. We're going to hook that together with death blow. So now every time we use death blow, even if Tifa misses, she's still going to do a normal attack after that, which means that we get some guaranteed damage as well as the optional damage we can get from death blow. Let's go up, and then on the next screen we want to go around toward the left and touch the hot spring, and that will get our hand nice and warm, and then we're going to run up and over toward the left side to get into the new area. Let's keep running up and to the left until we get into a new type of screen. This will allow us just to run straight toward the left. So do this for a couple screens again until we transition into a new type of area. These guys are called Shred. They are susceptible to level 4 suicide, so use that if you want to get rid of them quickly. Let's keep going over toward the left until we get into a new area with a small cutscene. Snow, as far as the eye can see. Better watch where I walk. I'll place a landmark and start walking. Place a landmark by pressing X. So what you want to do is to run forward and then over toward the right a little bit. So go diagonally up and toward the right. After you do that for a few seconds, then just start running straight toward the right. The screen will shift around, but that's where the landmarks come in handy. You want to just place them every couple steps you go, and then that will keep you running nice and straight. So once you go up and to the right and then just straight toward the right, you'll get into this new screen. Just start running all the way toward the right. You don't have to do anything special here. Just keep going all the way toward the right, and then it will transition into a new type of screen in just a couple screens. Now we're going to come down the path and stick toward the right side so that we can run around the rocks and then go up and into this cave. There's a person here. Let's go and speak to them, but we'll have to get into a fight when we do this. You got a lot of nerve trying to touch me with the same dirty hands that touched that filthy hot spring. I'll never forgive you. We seem to get a boss fight out of nowhere, but it's okay, this enemy's pretty easy to beat. Her name is Snow. What we want to do is use the level 4 suicide enemy skill, which will knock her down into critical health. Then we're just going to follow that up with Tifa using the Death Blow added cut combo. When she's hit with that level 4 suicide, she'll probably want to counterattack with Fascination. Now normally this would confuse us, which would be bad, but Cloud has the ribbon equipped, so we're immune to that confusion status effect. Even though we missed with the Death Blow, Tifa will follow that up with added cut and get the kill from there. So we're all set now. Once that's done, we'll get a small scene and we'll be able to grab a new materia. Why this? Upon defeat, she'll drop the summon on the ground that is for Alexander. It's kind of a cool summon that does damage of the holy element, which can come in handy a bit later on. Let's run down and over toward the left. We're just going to retrace our steps so that we can get back out into that big snowfield area. Strangely enough, we have a normal fight with Snow and a Lessalaploth, that's the big dragon looking thing. We can just run away from this fight, however, because it's not considered a boss fight. So let's go ahead and get out of here before we take too much damage from these enemies. Always make sure that you do heal yourself up if you are getting low. We're just going to have Sid use his cure spell, and then that will top everyone's health off. And now we'll continue up and into the next section. Now we just have to run left a couple screens, and then we'll be back out into the large snowfield where we can continue on to our destination, the red check mark on our map. Here's the last screen that we have to run through. Just keep going over toward the left. I did get into a fight with a new enemy. These guys are called Frozen Nail. They do some pretty basic attacks, nothing too worrisome. If you want to take them down quickly, use level 4 Suicide and follow that up with a normal attack, and they'll be gone. So let's go all the way out left, and then we'll be back into the large snowfield area. From here, we're going to go diagonally up and to the left for a few seconds, and then turn, and we want to basically just start heading straight up from that point. Keep pressing X every few steps so that you can get your guideposts in line, and then you'll eventually be out and into the top part here. Let's go forward and then into the house on the right. We can use the save point really quickly. If you want to go into the back room, then you'll have a scene with Holzoff. He's the guy who lives here, and he'll explain more about the mountain. That's not necessary, however, so go ahead and just skip that whole section, or talk to him if you want to. It doesn't really matter. But once we've got the game saved, we're going to head on out of here, and then we're going to start heading up the path all the way to the top. This is also where you'd end up if you ran for more than 544 steps out in the Great Glacier area. You'll wake up in Holzoff's hut. So now that we go up to the top, we're going to climb up this rocky path up the glacier. When you get to the top, then run over by where the flag is, hit X to interact with the wall, and then just keep climbing up toward the top. You'll notice the degrees are listed on the screen. You don't want that to get too low. If it ever gets down to like 32, then what you want to do is stop on a spot by a red flag, keep mashing that square button to raise your body temperature up, get it up to about 38, and then you'll be good to go for the rest of that screen. After a few more times of climbing up these rock faces, you're going to get up to the top, and you'll see the entrance to a cave. It looks like a big black doorway. You'll want to run into that to go into the area known as Gaea's Cliff. And this is going to be a separate section with a lot to do, so let's go ahead and get started. While you're inside, you don't have to worry about your body heat anymore, so that's good. Let's run forward and to the right. That will take us into a back room. We'll go up the stairs to the left and then down into another area. Let's start by running immediately toward the right. We'll go through the wall, and then we'll find this treasure chest, which contains a ribbon, which will block all status effects, just like what we have on Cloud. As we run out of here, we get into another fight. These are new enemies that we haven't yet seen before. These guys are called Zoloculter. They'll use Toxic Barf to poison and slow whatever enemy it hits. We don't want to deal with that, so let's just run away. If you do want to kill them, just use Aqua Lung. Keep going up, and you can grab this treasure chest. It contains a Javelin. That's a new weapon for Sid. Let's go ahead and have a look at that. It is a bit better than what we've got right now. It does, however, lose us one of our Materia slots, but it also links a lot of them together, which can be good. I did lose the slot up on the top, but I do have some spares down below, so I'll just throw that all Materia into one of the armor slots and then move on. We'll go left from the treasure chest and then up into here. We're going to now run up along the path through this tunnel up to the top, and now we'll be able to push this large rock. And when we do that, it's going to roll down the path all the way down, and it will go and break apart some crystals which were blocking our path before. Once the path is clear, we'll continue down, and now we're going to get 2 enemy skills from 1 enemy. So as we run through here, you may encounter this enemy. Its name is Stilva, and there's a very particular way we're going to acquire these enemy skills. Number 1, we're going to manipulate him, which I have the manipulate materia on Sid, so we got him manipulated. Now he's going to do our bidding. We're going to have Cloud use Big Guard just to cast a magic barrier over our party. This is so that Tifa doesn't die from these attacks. Using that manipulated Silva, we're going to cast Trine on our entire party. Trine hits the whole party for magic damage of the lightning element, and this is good because Cloud will actually absorb all of that. To get our party's health back to full, we're going to use White Wind with Cloud, and that will heal everyone up because Cloud is already at full health, and White Wind heals according to how much health the caster has. Now we're going to have Silva cast Magic Breath on our party. It actually does damage based on 3 different elements, one of which is lightning, so we're able to absorb that as Cloud again. One more White Wind brings everyone up to full health, and now we're going to have Cloud use the enemy skill Magic Hammer so that we can steal 100 MP from him and just refill part of our MP that we've used up so far. To finish off this fight, we're going to have Sid manipulate Silva into using Magic Breath on itself. That should do enough damage to finish him off. So there you go, we're still at full health, we have most of our MP still, and we got 2 enemy skills in 1 fight. Very easy when you do that the right way. So after that fight's done, we're going to head out of here back the way that we came. We're going to now go along the path toward the right and then down. We're now going to go over toward the left and then up and into the next area. From the top of the stairs, head up and to the right. I did get into a fight with these enemies called Evil Head. They can use something called Blood Suck, which damages you and heals them, and also use something called Ultrasound, which does a fair amount of damage and can also silence you. Let's run away from them and then proceed up and to the right, running past where the boulder broke those crystals. We'll loop around and then continue following the path over toward the right side. Eventually, when you get to the end, you'll have to hook around the corner and then you'll exit out the bottom. Keep running along the path, you'll do another hook and exit out the bottom, and you'll be back outside where we have to worry about our temperature again. Let's start by climbing up the rock face. When you get here, you're going to get a choice. Let's choose to go up, and then that will take us to the next section. If your temperature makes you anxious, you can warm yourself up, otherwise you can live dangerously and choose to climb immediately up to the next section. You'll want to go all the way over toward the right now, and then that will take you to this platform. Now that I'm pretty cold, I am going to warm myself up a bit, all the way up to 38 degrees, and then I'm going to continue to climb up the rock face over by the flag on the right. We'll keep going all the way up to the top, and then we're going to go over toward the left side, climbing up this rock face here. We're going to go all the way up to the top, and then we'll be able to climb up once again, and this time we're going to go up into the right side. That should be about as far as we need to go, and then we'll be able to go back inside the cave and continue on through Gaea's cliff. So now that we're here, we're going to stick over toward the right side. There's a treasure chest that we want to pick up. It contains an elixir. Let's keep hugging that right side wall and go out the door on the upper right. Now we're going to be outside. We need to be careful because there is one enemy out here that's very dangerous, but also we can learn a pretty good enemy skill from him. So as we run around, pay attention for when you get into a fight with a Malboro, one of the most classic and iconic Final Fantasy monsters, which can be very terrible, especially because they have a move called Bad Breath, which inflicts numerous status effects on our party. Luckily, we have Cloud, who has the ribbon on, and he is completely unaffected by that. We'll go ahead and hit him with a couple limit breaks with whatever we got. So I use Cross Slash. That will paralyze him and keep him from doing anything. We can also use Tifa and Sid's limit breaks. We definitely want to keep Sid healed up though, because that frozen beam does a lot of damage to him. We can just use a White Wind, however, to get him back to full health. And now we're just going to do a little bit of attacking, waiting for the Malboro to use Bad Breath. He can also use things like Bio 2 to do a lot of damage and to poison you. but we can negate a lot of the damage that we're getting from him using the Big Guard enemy skill. And also Whirlwind cures all status effects, so you can get rid of that bio the same way. Well, now let's just wait until he uses a Bad Breath. You'll see what it does to our party members, but Cloud is still going to be a-okay. Bad Breath affects every enemy it hits with Poison, Confuse, Sleep, Silence, Frog, and Small, and it works 100% of the time as long as the enemy is susceptible to those status effects. Once you've learned Bad Breath, you can finish off the Malboro. Magic Breath does a good job, or you can just have level 4 Suicide, put it into critical, and then follow it up with one normal attack, and he'll be done. Let's keep going along the path here, making sure that we get decently healed up before we get into the next fight. I do want to farm one more enemy encounter out here just so that I can get some MP back by using Magic Hammer. So these guys seem like a pretty good target for doing that. Let's just go ahead and start fighting them to get rid of them one by one. But we will have Cloud use Magic Hammer on the enemies to steal 100 MP back from each of them. So while I do that, I'll give you some fun facts about these guys. Their name is Head Bomber, and they have the ability to inflict the Fury status effect on you, which is the opposite of Sadness. Sadness makes your limit gauge fill up more slowly, but you also take less damage. Fury causes you to take more damage, but you will also fill up your limit gauge faster, which means that these guys are pretty good at helping you to fill up your limit gauge and use your limits as you farm the uses of them to learn your next limit break. So if you want to, go ahead and do that here, but it's certainly not required. We're going to really focus on that much later. We're just going to keep fighting these guys until we get into a good spot where Cloud has a lot of MP and also our party members are pretty healthy. Sid helps out with that by using the cure spell on everyone. I guess we technically don't have to defeat these guys if we don't want to. You can just run away once you feel like you're in a good spot, but you definitely want to have a good amount of health and MP because the next section that we have to do will really require those things. So once we've gotten what we wanted to get out of these guys, let's just run away and then move on. We'll go into the next screen, and then immediately to our right, there's a treasure chest. Let's open that up to grab the Fire Armlet, a very powerful piece of equipment for us. As you run to the left, you'll get into a fight with a giant icicle as well as 4 of those evil head enemies. Now, they're pretty annoying because they can do a decent chunk of damage. You can finish this fight very quickly by having someone use the enemy skill Laser on the icicle itself. You just have to target the thing that isn't moving like crazy. Typically, all I had to do was hit the left directional button about 2 or 3 times, and then it would select the icicle. Hit it with laser, it'll take away half of its health, and then there'll be a little animation of it cracking, and as soon as that's done, then the fight will be over automatically. You don't have to defeat those evil heads, you can just ignore them and then move on from there. I'm not going to show all of these fights in its entirety because it's kind of boring to do it that way. However, I will just show the beginning of it, because after every time you complete one of these things, it'll fall down and it will ask, do you want to jump down to the room below? We're going to say no on those because we want to make it all the way to the end of the walkway that we're on to pick up another treasure chest at the far side. So let's go ahead. Once again, we're going to use the laser enemy skill on the icicle in the back. It's going to cause it to crack, and then we'll be able to move on from the fight. This icicle will fall down, the game will prompt us and ask us if we want to jump down to the room below. We'll say no again, and we're just going to repeat this process 2 more times as we make our way across. Just make sure that you're keeping yourselves healed up as you go, because those evil head bats will do quite a bit of damage to you, especially if they team up on one person and do a lot of those ultrasounds to them. So we just defeated this icicle using the same method of casting laser on it, and now we're going to move on to the 4th and final icicle on the way over as soon as we say that we do not want to jump down to the room below. Alright, 4th and final icicle, same as all the other ones. Let's go ahead, hit it with laser, and then move on. At least we get something out of these fights. We get 500 experience, but we don't really get anything else. We don't get any AP for doing it this way or gil, but 500 experience is better than nothing. Once the icicle falls, for the last time, we're going to say no to jumping down to the room below. And then we just want to make sure that our party is healed up nicely. And then we're going to keep going toward the left where we can open up the treasure chest to grab a mega elixir. Now let's run all the way over toward the right side. And when we get over there, we will be prompted one more time if we want to jump down to the room below. This time we'll say yes, and Cloud will jump down. Once we get down here, go over toward the left side, you'll run up the ramp here, and then we can open up this treasure chest for a free speed source. Now we just want to go over to the save point. We'll make a quick save here after using a tent to get all of our health back. And then we're going to proceed up along the path, and then we're going to hop across these different icicles that we knocked down, and then that will take us all the way back and outside once again. There's a treasure chest here that contains a new weapon for Cloud called Enhanced Sword. Let's go ahead and look at it real quick. It doesn't really provide us with any more damage. It does give us a little bit better accuracy and a whole lot of materia slots with normal growth. I'm just going to stick with the Yoshiyuki, however, and move on. We're just going to run all the way down to the end and then loop around toward the left and come back. I did get into a fight with the Malboro in this area, but I just ran away from it because I didn't want to deal with all of that stuff again. And now we're going to head out and into this room where we can run down toward the camera and transition into a new screen where we're back outside. Let's start climbing by the red flag. We'll go a little bit to the right and then we'll be prompted which direction do we want to go. Let's say go up, and then we're going to proceed straight up onto the platform above us. Before we keep climbing, we're going to pause to get our degrees back up to 38. That way we don't have to worry about our body temperature for the rest of this area. Let's now climb up, and then when we get to the intersection, we're going to choose to go up again. So let's do that, and then keep on climbing. When you get up here, we'll have to go over toward the right a little bit, and then we're going to land up on this platform. Let's keep climbing up and to the right, and then we're going to get up to the next red flag. Keep on climbing up from here, and then we're going to go out into the next section. All right, let's run back inside, and when you run over toward the right, there's a glowing spot on the ground. If you interact with it, you'll actually refill all of your HP and MP, so it's like using a free tent right there. Let's go over to the save point. We'll check out what equipment we have set up so that we're ready for the next boss fight. Cloud has the Yoshiyuki as well as the Bolt Armlet to drain lightning attacks, very important for that boss fight, and the ribbon as well. Tifa has the Power Soul, the Fire Armlet to drain fire attacks, and the Power Wrist for strength plus 10. And Sid has the Javelin as his weapon, as well as the Wizard Bracelet and the Fire Ring to nullify fire attacks. Again, we're keeping our magic defense really high because this boss will only do magic attacks. Not a lot of change to Cloud's materia. He's got enemy skill and cover as well as elemental and fire on his armor so that he takes less damage from fire. Tifa has luck plus, counter attack, long range, and chocobo lure on her armor. She's got the added cut materia paired with death blow and the throw materia. And finally, Sid has the enemy skill that's a little bit weaker. He also has manipulate, comet linked with all, even though it doesn't do anything. We're just getting alls to level up here. On his armor, he has all and restore, as well as added effect time. He also has the Bahamut summon with the steel materia, and finally the last all materia. So once you're all set with that, let's go ahead and make sure that all of our party members have a tranquilizer on them with the sadness status effect, so we'll take less damage, and then we'll save the game before heading over toward the right side. We'll run down a hallway and interact with the man in the black robe that gets thrown out here, and then we'll instantly be put into a boss fight. This boss is a 2-for-1 special. His name is Schizo, and he's a two-headed dragon. The head on our right, which would be Schizo left, uses only ice-based attacks, and the head on our left, which is named Schizo Right, will only do fire-based attacks. Each of them has 18,000 HP, and they each have 350 MP. What we want to do is cast a big guard on our party to protect against some of those ice-based attacks, which are pretty strong. The fire attacks we don't worry about because we can defend against them or even absorb them. But what we need to do is to have Cloud start to intervene here, and we want to drain off as much of their MP as we can. If we can get their MP to 0, then we don't have to worry about them using any of their attacks anymore, except for their final attack when one of the heads dies. So we're going to have Tifa just use her Death Blow Added Cut combo, and then Cloud will just start magic hammering the heads to get rid of all of the MP. Remember, they have 350 MP each, so if you use 3 or 4 of those magic hammers, you'll completely wipe out the head's MP, and they won't be able to attack anymore. Every time you do 5 or 6 attacks against one of the heads, it's going to counter by casting a Quake spell on you. You can stop it from doing that if you make it run out of MP as well. So this is that counter attack that we could negate by getting rid of it. Doesn't do too much damage, especially because we have a big guard up with that magic barrier. So let's just go ahead and keep on fighting here, keeping our party members alive if they get hit by those ice attacks. But again, the fire attacks aren't too worrisome for us. So after you magic hammer it all the way down, then it won't be able to attack anymore, and you'll want to switch targets to start using magic hammer against the other head as well. So now that we've talked about how to build up a good defense and stop him from hurting us, how do we actually take him down? Well, one of the answers is to use Aqua Lung against it, because it will hit both of the enemies and do a fair amount of damage to them. You do not want to use Magic Breath on it because it will actually absorb that attack as it absorbs one of the elements inside of Magic Breath. So let's just go ahead and keep using our physical attacks with Tifa. We can use Aqua Lung with Sid, and then just keep magic hammering along with Cloud, and you'll be able to make it so that this guy can't really do any damage to you apart from his final attack when one of the heads dies. You want to stagger the damage a little bit and kill off one of the heads first. If you kill both of the heads at the same time, it will use 2 attacks at the end, which can really mess you up, and we don't want that to happen. So let's just keep on going. It looks like Tifa is down into critical health right now, which is actually pretty good for us if we want to do some extra damage, but it is a little bit risky because she could die from one of the head's final attacks, so we do want to keep up her health a little bit more, and also keep up big guard so that we don't accidentally have someone die in the fight. We're going to use whatever limit breaks we have as well as we continue to progress toward learning new limit breaks with them. So we're getting a couple of them off with both Tifa and Sid while we're in this big glacier area. It's a pretty good spot to farm our limit breaks. Before we actually finish off the Schizo right head, we want to steal from it because we can get a new accessory called the Protect Ring. What that does is that it begins battle with both barrier and magic barrier on. So it's kind of similar to Big Guard where it fills up both of those barrier bars. It does tick down over time, so it's not like a permanent thing, and it doesn't give you the haste effect either. So technically Big Guard is better because it's your whole party, gives you barrier, magic barrier, and haste together, but it's not a bad accessory, and you can just sell it if you really wanted to and get some money for it. That's about all there is to this fight. You just want to debilitate it by using Magic Hammer to steal all of its MP from both of its heads. It's pretty quick to do that, and then you just have to finish it off. It does drag on for quite a while because each head has 18,000 HP. So if you want to speed that up, use things like Aqua Lung, and then you'll be able to take it out no problem. I would not recommend doing the trick with Tifa to put her into critical status. I also wouldn't cast Death Sentence on her either because it just makes it too risky. She'll probably die before you get to defeat these Schizo heads. Now I'll just let the fight play out to the end. All that's left is to see when we defeat one of the heads, and you'll notice that it does its final attack, which is of the lightning element, but because Cloud absorbs all of those lightning-based attacks, he cannot die, which means that a game over and being killed completely by this guy is impossible. Here's that final attack. The Schizo right head is dead and it's drooping down. It won't do anything anymore, but the other head won't do anything either because it's out of skill power. It will only do its final attack when we defeat it, but as long as our party is in relatively good health, we should be able to survive that no problem. So enjoy the rest of the fight, and I'll see you at the end. As you can see, we just switched to using physical attacks at the end and it worked just fine. We were able to take it out. The enemy uses its final attack and it does a good amount of damage to Tifa and to Sid. They weren't blocking it at all, but I did have enough health just to survive that, and then the fight's over. We get 4,400 experience, 240 AP, 3,000 gil, and a Dragon Fang as a reward. Once that's done, let's run forward and outside. We're going to be on the outside of the glacier again, but we can just start climbing up the right side. We don't have to worry about temperature. This is more of a scripted thing as we climb up toward the top, and then eventually the camera will change and we'll get a bit of a scene when we get up to the top. If you're enjoying this video and finding it useful, please hit that like button, comment down below, and also subscribe for more content like this in the future. Let's just keep making our way down toward the bottom and we'll get a scene. An old crater. Something fell out of the sky and crashed down here, leaving a scar on the planet. This is something. It's gathered all that energy to try and heal itself. Sephiroth took that energy and is trying to use Meteor. Next time, the wound won't be so small. On the way down, you may get into a fight or two. These grenade enemies are pretty dangerous. If you want to take care of them safely, use Frog Song, followed by level 4 Suicide, and then a normal attack will take them out before they can explode. The guy in the black robe blocks our way, so let's interact with him to move past him. Let's exit out the bottom left. In the next screen, if you didn't have Tifa in your party already, she would add herself to your party right now. You're going after Sephiroth, aren't you? I've lost a lot because of Sephiroth. Let's go. Let's keep running toward the left and go into a new screen. Let's follow the path down and to the left, running past the men in the black cloaks. On our way there, we'll see a new red summon materia at the bottom of the screen. Let's pick up Neo Bahamut, and now with 2 versions of Bahamut, we can actually get a 3rd version later on and a new trophy. Let's stop by the save point really quick, and then we're going to use a tent to get all of our health and our MP back. That's going to be pretty important for the upcoming fights, and then we're going to quickly save the game before moving on. Once that's done, we're going to proceed up and to the left a few steps over, and we'll get a cutscene. That's... So I finally found you. Yeah! Ha ha! Ha ha! Ha ha! This is incredible! This is the promised land the president had been searching for. But I'll be the one who gets it. Sorry, old man. Hehehe. That land is no one's. It's where the reunion will take place. They will all gather here. I wonder if we'll see Sephiroth. After the cutscene, head left and exit the screen. Now this is the first part of the Whirlwind maze. You'll get a scene explaining that we need to cross when the wind is calm or we'll get swept off. While the wind is calming down, you can interact with the two figures to grab a high potion and an ether, and then wait for a few seconds until the wind dies down. You'll notice that the screen becomes mostly clear. At that point, just run forward and you should be good. This is the easiest of the 3 wind barriers that we have to get past. In this screen, there's just a long winding trail going all the way up toward the top. So let's start by heading over. There's a good chance that you're going to get into a couple fights around here. Here I got into a fight with a couple gremlins as well as a sculpture. Both of these enemies are weak to level 4 suicide, so if you want an easy way to defeat them, use that attack and then follow that up with a normal physical attack or something else, and you'll take them out no problem. Let's keep going around the path. These men in black cloaks don't give you anything when you interact with them, but there is a treasure chest on the right that contains a Kaiser Knuckle. That's a new weapon for Tifa that we're not going to use at all. One more thing about these sculptures, they are fatally weak to anything that's holy damage, so if you hit them with either Alexander or Alexander paired with an elemental materia on your normal physical attacks on your weapon, you'll be able to kill them instantly with just one attack. Now let's keep following the trail all the way up and around until we get out the top. Here's the second barrier, and this one's more complicated because of the extra green wave that goes through there, but I'll teach you a trick. If you go into whoever has the manipulate materia and give them the Hypnocrown, it'll make the fight easier if you accidentally make a mistake, because if you do bump into this thing, it'll send you flying back and you'll get into a fight against one enemy. This enemy is called a Wind Wing. There's 2 ways that you can take care of it. Either level 4 suicide it and then just use a normal attack, or what you can do is to manipulate it with that Hypnocrown. It's a guaranteed manipulation, and now that it can't do anything, we're going to have it cast Arrow 3 on itself. We'll have to do that 2 times in order to kill it, but this is a very safe way to get rid of this guy without any effort on your part and without expending any of your own MP. Interestingly enough, this Wind Wing does know White Wind, but it doesn't cast it on you, and it's not one of the available attacks that you can manipulate it to cast on you by choice either. This fight provides a good amount of experience, AP, and gil, so you might want to consider farming this guy just because it's so easy if you want to level up a little bit here. But we're going to keep on going, waiting for that wind to die down. You can kind of see where the edge of the platform is. It's right where that wind is going past, and then just get as close to that as you can, and then after it passes through, then you can go on into the next screen. There's another boss fight in here, so all we're going to do is to leave our materia the same, and then we're going to take off the Hypnocrown and give Sid that fire ring. All of the boss's attacks that are coming up are fire-based, so having a fire armlet or fire ring or elemental plus fire is going to go a long way to keeping you safe and healthy in this fight, and basically make it so that you can't lose. So now that we're all set to go, we're going to proceed on forward, and there's going to be a cutscene before the boss fight. This is the end for all of you. Sephiroth! This is the end. You're right. This is the end of this body's usefulness. He disappeared? He might still be nearby. Our purpose is to deliver the black materia to our master. Our Hey, what's going on? Those who carry Jenova cells. Master. Of course, Sephiroth. Hehehe. We're thrown into a boss fight against Jenova-DEATH. The last time we fought Jenova, all the attacks were water-based, but this Jenova is focused on the fire element, so everything that comes at us will be magical and it's going to be fire, which means that Tifa will absorb everything, Sid will block all the damage, and Cloud is taking half damage because of elemental and fire equipped to his armor. Jenova-DEATH has 800 MP, and what we need to do is focus solely on getting Cloud to use Magic Hammer and use that as many times as possible to drain all of Jenova-DEATH's MP as quickly as possible, because we can make it so that she cannot do anything else in battle. Just to make this go a little bit quicker, I had Sid use the haste spell on Cloud, so he'll be able to get his turn faster and just keep using those magic hammers. Because Cloud is equipped with the ribbon accessory, even Jenova's silence attack can't do anything and cannot stop our onslaught of magic hammers draining away 100 MP at a time. So you should only have to do about 7 of the magic hammers in order to drain off all the MP, because she'll be draining her own MP every turn whenever she casts a spell, but it's not going to be doing a whole lot to us thanks to our equipment setup. This first phase of just magic hammering her over and over again only takes about a minute or two to get through, and then you will be notified when this phase is over, because the top of the screen will say Jenova-DEATH's skill power is used up. This is essentially the same tactic that we used against the Schizo boss we fought just a few minutes ago, but in this case, Jenova-DEATH does not have a final attack that it can use in order to damage us. So once you use up all of that skill power and the MP is at 0, then you know that Jenova-DEATH cannot do anything more to harm you, and we get to go on the offensive. I'm going to start by lasering Tifa 3 times. The first time you use it, it will drop Tifa to half of her max HP. The second time we use it, it will drop her down to a quarter of her max health, but in order to be in critical status, you have to be at least 1 HP lower than that amount. So I do have to do laser one more time. That will drop her down to 1/8 of her max HP. Her HP number will turn yellow, indicating that she is now in critical status, and her physical attacks will do more damage. But we're not done there. We're going to also cast haste on her, so she'll get her ATB gauge filling up faster and will get more attacks. Finally, we're going to have Cloud use the enemy skill Death Sentence, and then that will make it so that she's facing death both from critical health and Death Sentence, and she'll be doing 8 times as much damage as usual. So now we're going to have her use Death Blow, followed up by that added cut Materia. Even though we're at a pretty low level right now, Tifa can still do over 5,000 damage when Death Blow hits, and we get that added cut factoring in too. So that's pretty good considering Jenova-DEATH has 25,000 HP. We're doing 1/5 of her total health and damage whenever Tifa gets that Death Blow to hit. We can also supplement the damage by using powerful attacks like Bahamut. It completely ignores Jenova-DEATH's magic defense and can do over 2,000 damage as well. We can have Cloud use things like Magic Breath or Trine. You just don't do anything that's of the fire element and you should be okay. But mostly we're going to get a lot of damage out of Tifa with her haste. She'll get many turns in a row, and honestly you should be able to finish off Jenova-DEATH well before Tifa's Death Sentence timer runs out. So go ahead and keep blasting her away with as much magic as you can. Magic Breath, Comets, Trines, etc. You may even have a Limit Breaker too that you've been saving up to this point. So whatever you have available to you, just let her have it and you'll be able to finish this fight without any worries whatsoever. I wish I could say that I put in enough planning to get Cloud to exactly 0 MP at the end of this fight, but that was just a funny coincidence. So I had to switch to just using normal basic attacks at this point, and Tifa will end the fight with a very powerful Death Blow added cut combo, and that will be the end of Jenova-DEATH. As a reward, we get 6,000 experience, 400 AP, 5,000 gil, and a reflect ring accessory. Jenova cells. So that's what this is all about. The Jenova reunion. Not Sephiroth? You mean all this time it wasn't Sephiroth we've been after? I'll explain later. Right now, the only thing I'm thinking about is beating Sephiroth. But Sephiroth is... He's here. The real Sephiroth is just beyond here. It's both incredibly wicked and cruel. But it's releasing a powerfully strong will from deep within the planet's wound. Received key item Black Materia. The Black Materia is back in our hands. Now all we have to do is defeat Sephiroth, and that'll be the end of it. We'd better not take the Black Materia any further. Why don't you give it to someone else to hold on to? Let's go down and give it to Red 13. Give the Black Materia to Red 13? Yes. You want me to take the Black Materia? Alright, I understand. Don't give it to anyone. I'm counting on you. Let's find Sephiroth. We're going in first. You guys stay and keep watch. As you run up, make sure to grab the MP Turbo Materia off the ground. It looks yellow like a command materia, but it's actually a support type of materia. As you run further on, you may get into a fight with one of these guys. These are called Iron Knights. They like to try to put you to sleep with Sleeple and then use physical attacks against you, which is kind of dumb because that would wake you up. But you can just run away from them. If you want to, go ahead and steal some Phoenix Downs from them if you're running low on those. We're going to stop by the save point real quick just to use a tent to get all of our HP and our MP back, and then we're going to save the game before continuing on. Let's go a little bit further up and to the left. We'll open up this treasure chest for a poison ring and then head up into a new section. This is the trickiest barrier because you have to contend with the wind, the pillar, and the lightning. Lightning tends to come in groups, so after a couple lightning strikes, run through and you should be just fine. When you get to the very end, it will transition and you'll have a very long story sequence. What is this? What happened? Calm down, Tifa. Sephiroth is near. Anything could happen. Nibelheim. What? Why Nibelheim? This is an illusion Sephiroth made up. He's trying to confuse us. It'll be alright. As long as we know it's an illusion, there's nothing to be afraid of. Come on, let's keep going. Yeah, you're right. Look! Alright, let's go. Cloud's not here. Stop, Sephiroth. This is so stupid. After everyone disappears, you're in control of Cloud again, so run forward and talk to Tifa. Cloud, it's just an illusion. Don't worry about it. What's next? Stop it already! This is terrible! This is what actually happened 5 years ago. But it's probably not me that will come out of the Shinra Mansion. He's going to try and show us another stupid illusion. See? Didn't I tell you? Hey, it's you! You're still sane, right? Then come over here and help me! I don't want to watch this. Cloud, don't watch. I'll check this house. You check that one over there. What's wrong, Tifa? I told you before, right? As long as we know that it's just an illusion, there's no need to be scared. Hey, you alright? This was all made up. Sephiroth, I know you're listening. I know what you want to say. That I wasn't in Nibelheim 5 years ago. That's it, isn't it? I see you finally understand. What you are trying to say is that you want to confuse me, right? But even making me see those things won't affect me. I remember it all, the heat of the fire, the pain in my body, and in my heart. Oh, is that so? You are just a puppet. You have no heart, and cannot feel any pain. How can there be any meaning in the memory of such a being? What I have shown you is reality. What you remember, that is the illusion. We're now in control of Cloud again. Let's go forward and talk to Sephiroth to continue the scene. Do you understand? I don't want to understand. But I want to ask you one thing. Why? Why are you doing this? I want to take you back to your real self. The one who gave me the black materia that day. Who would have ever thought a failed experiment would prove so useful? Hojo would die if he knew. Hojo? What does he have to do with me? 5 years ago, you were constructed by Hojo, piece by piece, right after Nibelheim was burnt. A puppet made up of vibrant Jenova cells, her knowledge, and the power of the Mako. An incomplete Sephiroth clone, not even given a number. That is your reality. After Cloud shrugs, you're in control of him once again, so let's talk to Sephiroth and then to Tifa to continue. Ha ha ha. Cloud, don't listen to him. Cover your ears. Cover your eyes. What's wrong, Tifa? I'm not affected by it. I wasn't paying attention to him. All that talk of Hojo constructing you is a lie. Don't we have our memories together? Being kids together, starlit nights? Ha ha ha. Tifa. Why are you so worried and scared by those words? Shall I show everyone here what's in your heart? Ha ha ha. You don't look well. Tifa? Is Sephiroth right? Cloud. Why are you so scared? Don't worry about me. I'm alright. No matter how confused I am, I'll never believe a word that Sephiroth says. It's true that sometimes I can't figure out who I am. There's a lot of things muddled up in my memories. But Tifa, you said, "Long time no see, Cloud," right? Those words will always support me. I'm the one you grew up with. I'm Cloud of Nibelheim. No matter how much I lose faith in myself, that is the truth. That's why you shouldn't be so scared. No matter what anyone else says to me, it's your opinion that counts. No, that's not true, Cloud. What's not? I'm the same Cloud you grew up with, aren't I? That's not what I mean. I don't know how to say it. Cloud, I need some time. Just give me a little time. Cloud, don't blame Tifa. The ability to change one's looks, voice, and words is the power of Jenova. Inside of you, Jenova has merged with Tifa's memories, creating you. Out of Tifa's memory, a boy named Cloud might have just been a part of them. Cloud, please, don't think right now. Ha ha ha, think, Cloud. Cloud? Ha ha ha, oh, excuse me, you never had a name. Shut up, Sephiroth. You still don't understand. Then... do you remember the picture that we took before we headed for Mount Nebel? Tifa, you remember, right? But there's no way he would know. Now, what happened to that picture? Is this it? Do you want to see it? It turned out pretty good. Cloud, don't! I should be in the picture. Even if I'm not there, no worry. This is just an illusory world Sephiroth made up. Just as I thought. This picture's a fake. The truth is in my memory. 5 years ago, I came back to Nibelheim to inspect their reactor. I was 16. The town hadn't changed at all. What did I do? Oh yeah. I spent the night and went to the reactor in Mount Nebel. I was excited about it. Because that was my first mission after becoming first class in Soldier. Soldier first class? Soldier? When did I enter Soldier? How did I join Soldier? Why? Why can't I remember? I'm... That's right. I didn't have to worry about it because I was... Cloud? Let's go, Tifa. I'm alright. Wow, that's amazing! It's all materia! The outside is rich with Mako energy. The inside is a treasure trove of materia. This truly is the Promised Land. There's no such thing as the Promised Land. It's a legend, an old wives' tale. It's utterly ridiculous. Everything's as I imagined it to be. Isn't it splendid? It is that kind of dullness that makes you a second-rate scientist. What's happening? It's coming from within the wall. Something's in there. It's moving. Weapon? Then it really does exist. I didn't believe in it. What does this mean? Weapon. A monster created by the planet. They appear when the planet's in danger and destroy everything. That's what was stated in Professor Gast's report. I never saw that report. Where is it? Here. Right here. You keep a lot of things to yourself. I wonder how Cloud and the others are. It's hard to believe such a small piece of materia could destroy the planet. What the? Is everyone all right? What's going on? Where am I? Don't leave me alone. Red 13, you're here. I'm so glad. Tifa. Something is strange. Why was it dark all of a sudden, and where is everybody? Everyone's waiting. Cloud's in trouble. Please come, help us. Over there. Right. I'm not sure I understand, but I'll go if you want me to. Hee hee hee. And remember, the black materia. Mr. President, I've got a bad feeling about this place. Maybe we should go back to our ship now. We need to prepare for the inspection anyway. Hey, where did you come from? Don't know. This place is going to get rough. Better leave things to me and get out of here while you still can. Leave things to you? I don't know what you mean. This is where the reunion is happening, where everything begins and ends. Cloud! I'm here. I'm here to help you, Cloud. Thanks, Red 13. Where's the black materia? Cloud! It's safe. I'm holding on to it. I'll take it from here. Give me the black materia. You can't hear my voice? Are you alright, Cloud? Then here you go. I was a little apprehensive holding this thing. No, don't! Please stop, Cloud. Thanks. Leave the rest to me. Come on, the black materia. Please wait just a little longer. Everyone, thanks for everything, and I'm sorry. 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 Especially you, Tifa. I'm really sorry. You've been so good to me. I don't know what to say. I never lived up to being Cloud. Tifa, maybe one day you'll meet the real Cloud. Ha ha ha, this is perfect. It means that my experiment was a complete success. What number were you? Huh? Where's your tattoo? Professor Hojo, I don't have a number. You didn't give me one because you said I was a failed experiment. What the? You mean only a failure made it here? Professor, please give me a number. Please, Professor. Shut up, miserable failure. Who was that? He's a Sephiroth clone I created after the real Sephiroth died 5 years ago. Jenova cells and Mako, with my knowledge and skills, have been combined with science and nature to bring him to life. I'm not wild about the failure part, but the Jenova reunion theory has now been proven. You see, even if Jenova's body is dismembered, it will eventually become one again. That is what is meant by Jenova's reunion. I've been waiting for the reunion to start. 5 years have passed, and now the clones have begun to return. I thought the clones would begin together at Midgar, where Jenova is stored. But my predictions were not entirely correct. Jenova itself began to move away from the Shinra building. But being the genius that I am, I soon figured it out. You see, it was all Sephiroth's doing. Sephiroth is not just content to diffuse his will into the life stream, he wants to manipulate the clones himself. Yes, that was how it started. I wondered where the clones were going, but I was never able to figure it out. I couldn't figure it out either. The one thing that I did know was that Sephiroth was at their final destination. I wasn't pursuing Sephiroth. I was being summoned by Sephiroth. All the anger and hatred I bore him made it impossible for me to ever forget him. That and what he gave me. Sephiroth? Sephiroth, I'm here, and I brought you the black materia. Show yourself to me. Where are you? Sephiroth, so we finally meet again. Did you see it? It's Sephiroth, so he is here. This is perfect, both Jenova's reunion and Sephiroth's will. They won't be diffused into the life stream, but gathered here. Mwahaha! What are you so happy about, Professor? You know what this means, don't you? Cloud has the black materia. Sephiroth is going to summon Meteor. Every single person is going to die. Whatever I say now is too little, too late. We must evacuate. I want you all to come with me. There's still much more I want to know. Cloud, no! Stop! Please! Cloud! 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 I didn't know what to do. I was always like that. What's the matter? Poor kid. Are you all right? Tifa? Tifa? Tifa! Oh, Cloud! That's right, I'm Cloud. Is it really you, Cloud? I never thought I'd find you here. Yeah, it's been a while. What happened to you? You don't look well. Yeah, it's nothing. I'm okay. How long has it been? 5 years. What is it? It's really been a long time. Actually, it's been 7 years. You joined Soldier but quit after the Sephiroth incident, and now you're a mercenary. You told me a lot about what happened after you left Nibelheim. But something was wrong. I felt there was something strange about the things you talked about. All the things you didn't know that you should, and other things you shouldn't know that you did. I wanted to make sure. But then I heard you were going far away. And I didn't want that. I didn't know what to do, so I thought I needed more time. And that's why I told you about the avalanche job. I wanted to be with you and watch you. Ding. Huh? The glare.
You'll be better soon. You've been asleep for a long time.
I'm hungry.
Hey, why don't you ask? About him.
Because I'm scared.
Don't worry, I don't know what's happened to Cloud either. Guess I shouldn't tell you not to worry. None of them know if he's alright either.
He's still alive, right? How long was I asleep?
Let's see now. Must have been about 7 days.
What about Sephiroth?
You ain't over it yet? Remember that huge light in the northern cave? Since then, the crater's been surrounded by a huge barrier of light. Everyone knows Sephiroth sleeps in that big hole, protected by the barrier. We can't do a thing about it. We just gotta wait till he wakes up. And on top of that, some huge monster called Weapon's been on a rampage.
Weapon?
Remember that huge monster that was with Sephiroth at the bottom of the crater? Well, it's up here now. They say it's some legendary monster from the past.
Weapon is protecting Sephiroth?
Dunno, but he's up here going around tearing stuff up. Right now, Rufus is fighting it. I hate to say it, but he's got guts. We should have been the ones to destroy it, but we ain't got no time.
Time. Hey, how about Meteor? Do we have to give up?
Dunno.
I thought Cloud would show up to save you all. Professor Hojo wanted to check up on Cloud too. What are you going to do to Cloud? Sephiroth's alter ego? Meteor has been summoned. Essentially, it's all but over now. So, there's no need for you now. No, maybe there is an important task for you.
President, preparations for the public execution are complete. Execution? What are you gonna get by executing us?
You are to be executed for causing this situation. People are ignorant. They'll feel better as long as someone is punished.
I take back what little praise I had for this guy.
Well, enjoy your last moments together.
I'll tie your arms now.
At this point, we're in control of Barrett. We just have to follow Tifa and the Shinra Trooper down and out the door at the bottom of the screen. And in this room, there's a save point, so let's run over and save the game, and this is where I'm going to end part 10. Thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed this series so far, please be sure to give me a like and also comment down below. Those things are small, but they really do help me out. And also hit that subscribe button so that you can stay up to date with the rest of this series. In part 11, the game will really start to open up for us, and we'll have a lot of options for what we want to do next, and there's a lot of great content waiting for you. So I'll see you soon for part 11. Until then, thanks for watching and have a good day.